All right, so now we have most of the stuff for the actual joining form already done. So all the functionality of it's done on this home page. So now we're going to create our share page. Share page is also, in a way, our status page too, but it's going to be that public page that anyone can see. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to delete all these comments. If you want to see them, you can actually click on the lecture inside of any of our GitHub stuff. You can actually click on the lecture itself. So looking at our GitHub, if we go in there and go to launch with code, and you click on any of the lectures, obviously there will be more by the time you're seeing this, but click on any of the lecture that you're on or going through, and you'll still be able to see the comments there. So you can actually click on, oops, not on that one, but joins and like views, and the comments and stuff will still be there. All right. So that takes that out of the way. So I'll delete these. And what we need to do now is actually create a redirect and a view for the share page. So I'm going to first off create the view for the share page. I'll actually copy this home page view and then delete a bunch of stuff. Just kind of saves me a little time of typing, and take out the context. All right, so this is going to be our share page. So let's call it share. All right, so now that we have this share page, it will take in one more thing, which will be our reference ID, which I'll add in a second. But for now, I'm going to just jump into our URLs, and I'm going to copy this and paste it underneath. And I'm going to put a slash here, or sorry, not a slash there. I'm going to add in a way for us to actually accept a reference ID into our URL, and this is what's called a argument, or it's a keyword argument is what we're going to be using. So we can actually use this in our view, and we'll see what that means in just a second. And what we see right here is a regular expression. Regular expressions can be a little complicated, so I'll just do it for you and just kind of explain as much as I can as we go, so it's not too confusing. So I put these two parentheses on the outside, and then that dollar sign signifies that whatever's here is done. So like this is our home page, right? So it's not actually going to go any further. So when Django's reading this and it's on that first page, it's only going to stop here, and then it'll look for home. Now if there's code here, if there's something here, it will go to that next page, because you'll see that there's code there where the string is stopped here, so it will continue going if there's something before that string ends. All right, so now in here, I'm going to add in the regular expression, so ref ID and then dot star. All right, so this is basically saying any characters in before the end of this string and that first slash, any of those characters, we will go to the share page. So that's where it's going to take us. So we actually, and then it's going to set whatever those characters are to a reference ID, and we'll call it share homes.views.share. And the URL name will be share. All right, so this, now that we've set this, we can actually use that reference ID in our view. So it's going to be passed in as a parameter. All right, so reference ID is coming now through as a parameter. So let's actually just try it out and go print ref ID. So we'll print it when it actually redirects there. And then we'll create the redirect now too, so we can actually test it. And within the shortcuts, we just import HTTP response redirect. Copy that, go down here, and we'll return HTTP response redirect. And then I'll just do share, or sorry, not share, but just slash %s, and then it's going to be the %s, so we're using string substitution. It's going to be the ref ID is what we want. So we'll go new join old.ref ID as the string that we are substituting. Okay, so now if they enter in their username, it's going to, or excuse me, their email, it's going to redirect them to that ref ID whether it's created or not. It's always going to redirect them there. All right, so let's save it and let's test this out. So let's make sure our server is running. It is. Before I do, I actually am going to go into the admin. Uh-oh. Looks like it's not working correctly, so let's go into Sublime Text. Now, if you open up your URLs, you'll see that admin's at the very bottom. This and the admin actually match the same pattern, so we want to put this one up first. Admin at the very top. That way we can just keep it from interrupting, or from this view actually handling the admin view or the admin URL. So realistically, we'd probably want to have this one last. And notice the home page still worked because the home page was first. All right, so now if we refresh in here, admin comes up. So it joins. I'm just going to delete it. Say yes, I'm sure. Go in here, type in codingforentrepreneurs@gmail.com. Hit join. Cool. So if you notice, it redirected to a page up here, and there's a unique URL. So let's actually check that that's the one. Started with a D something. Yep, there we go. That looks like it's the same one. All right, cool. So let's actually try it out again. Hit join. Uh-oh. Join with this email already exists. Okay, so this is one of the problems that you might run into using model forms, right? Because it's actually going off of our model, so this unique clause is causing some errors. So granted, we do want it to be unique, but the only way we're creating it is with a get or create. So more than likely it will be unique. So let's actually go ahead and delete it. The unique equals to true. And let's run a schema migration. So Python manage.py, schema migration, joins auto, Python manage.py, migrate joins. All right, Python manage.py, run server. Cool. Do a refresh in here. Continue. Once we got rid of that unique clause, it worked. All right, so why is it doing this exactly? Well, if we look in views, we see this thing if form is valid, and then we have this join form. So is valid means it validates all of the fields that are coming through with the form as it relates to the form itself right here. In this case, it's relating to the model form, which is relating to the model. Now here, if I take away that unique equals to true, it doesn't run, if valid, does not run a check on whether or not that email is actually unique, right? It's not running that check anymore because it doesn't need to, because I got rid of it. But if I kept it in there, it would stay. Now, I want to show you this because when you actually create user accounts at some point, if you do custom ones or whatever, you would want unique equals to true most likely. And that's where you would absolutely keep it. And if it said email already exists, then fine. They would have to reset their password or whatever. But in this case, we want them to be able to click on that and then be redirected to the appropriate page, which will be eventually their share page. Okay, so that's kind of where that's where that's coming in. And that little switch, this actually could be there. That could still be commented. That could still be in there. That's okay. But that little part is actually a big deal. And if you didn't do it before, now you would have ran into that error. So adding unique might be a good thing for us. In some cases, it might actually run into some issues for us. Now, if you want to make sure that it's unique, or another way to make sure that it's unique, I should say, is when you actually create the object, you do a get or create call. So if you do get or create, this means either or. So either it's going to get the object or the instance that's related to whatever you're passing, or it's going to create it. So in this case, this will definitely be unique for us, and it will create one that's associated to that, or it'll get it. Now, if you create the email somewhere else, like your admin or something like that, you might run into some issues, and you might actually have this break and not work too. So I would not recommend that you manually add emails in the admin. I recommend that you use it using this view, no matter what. Okay, so that is that. That's our share page. That's the initial part of the share page. So we still need to design it and do a lot to it. So let's actually add a few things to our share page still. I'm going to add ref ID into our context. Make sure you use that colon there. And then I'll add a share.html page into our templates. So new file, save it as share.html. I just hit Command S to quickly go to share or save, excuse me. And then I'm just going to copy our base.html. And instead of this, I'm just going to put our context of ref ID. So now if we actually go directly to a reference ID page, it shows this. Cool. So that's where we're going to leave it off. This is now obviously a unique page for any email address whatsoever. So we could test it one more time and do abc@gmail, hit join. It now redirects us to our share page, which will eventually look something like this. All right, so we will see you in the next one.